The C.J. Howard Show. Now let's go to C.J. Howard. A happy Veterans Day weekend to all, and welcome to another episode of the C.J. Howard Sports Talk Show. I am your host, C.J. Howard, live from my apartment in Hazard, Kentucky. Glad to be with you on another Sunday evening. We've got a dandy show for you. Apologize for last week. I was out of town. Had some internet problems. Did get them solved. So was able, luckily, hopefully we'll have everybody that be on the show supposed to be with us tonight. So we've got a dandy one. Let's go over our guest list real quick. If you want to watch us, you can watch us on my Facebook page. You can watch us on my show page, the CJ Howard show page. You can also watch us on YouTube, and you can watch us on the D&D Sports Network. If you want to give us a call, 1-502-849-9320. I can hear you. I can talk to you, but John cannot. So if you ever had something to say to John, I would have to relay it back. He would have to tell me the answer, and I just give it back to you. I apologize that I still have not got my phone line problems fixed, but I hope someday I will. Our guest list tonight, we're going to be joined at 8:10 by Aaron Rose. Now, Aaron's a friend of mine. He works with, we work together at AMW Wrestling. And Aaron works throughout the state doing different stuff, ring announcing, production for wrestling. He also is doing production for Prep Spin right now with William Warfield and them. And you know William, everybody does. So we're going to get a chance to talk to Aaron, and that's going to be a good interview. I'm excited to talk to him. 8:30. This was a special request for my main man, John. He wanted Winston to come on. So we're going to have Winston Lee at 8:30. And Winston would love to be, he said he would love to co-host, but where he's got 2 children now, I understand family, so I thought it'd be better to bring him on as a guest, and it was the perfect opportunity to do that with John here. Then we're going to talk with legendary head football coach, Belfry head football coach, Phillip Haywood, as they get set to play the Castle County Rockets on Friday night. Big time football coming up this week, because we got some really good games on the agenda. Then we're supposed to talk with Leslie County head girls basketball coach Olivia Farmer at 9:30. Now, originally 9:30 would be WYMTV slot. Tonight, not going to be. Hopefully, I'll have them back starting next week. So, so we'll go from there. Hopefully, we'll get that situation worked out as well. My co-host this week, you know him well. He worked many years at WYMTV. Now he's working for a station, I think, in West Virginia, right? And staying busy on other things, too. He's you see him everywhere. Mr. John Lowe is with me tonight. John, it's awesome to have you with me. And, great because picking your brain. We talking about West Virginia getting a big win yesterday in football, and talking about the basketball team. And you got to be excited. Things looking good over there.
Yeah, things are looking a lot better than they were, at least for basketball this time last year. I do want to touch briefly on the WYMT stuff. I'm not going to go into too much detail because there's a lot of stuff that is still being worked out over there. A lot of stuff that I don't know, a lot of stuff that a lot of people that work there don't know. But, Matt Jones tweeted about it at one point, and, there is going to be some changes coming to YMT, changes that have already happened to WYMT, changes coming to sports overtime. And it's just a shame to kind of see what's happened there. Jack Demler and Audrey Hausberger, they've both been among people that have been laid off. And it wasn't just WYMT. A lot of stations owned by that company had similar downsizing. So sports overtime is going to be different moving forward. But it doesn't change the passion of Eastern Kentucky athletics. It doesn't change the passion of 15th, 14th, 13th regions. Just makes it all the more important for things like the CJ Howard Show, D&D Sports Network, Mountaintop Media, 13th Region Media Network, all those things need to keep on going. Hometown 24, like all of those things have to pick up the slack now. Because Armando, as far as I know, is the only full-time sports person still there.
And they're getting set. They're doing the round ball previews right now, and they're getting set to do the round ball top 10 shows here in about 2 weeks, less than a week. And, that's hard to do by yourself. I mean, seriously, because, you got a lot of people. You gotta talk to them, and, I'm sad. It's a sad situation. I feel for everybody. I noticed last night, too, that there was not a newscast at 11. They got a simulcast off of WKYT. But the Sports Overtime did come on, but didn't only. I think it just had this their Saturday night. That was the only thing that came on last night on YMT after they done the news with KYT. So, I hope the situation will get worked out and things might come back. People might get some good news, but right now it's bad, and we just have to, we try, like I said, we got to try to help them out, and everybody just pull together and go from there.
The one thing that's a little positive here is that it happened in a time where we have a lot of live streaming. So if your high school covers a game, I remember I borrowed heavily from WHLN in Harlan and WPRG and Preston's. I didn't borrow from them as much, but this is where we're going to need to band together to cover these kids more because it's really hard. I mean, Eastern Kentucky is a very spread out area. Not very drivable depending on where you're going. It was easy to get from Hazard to say Prestonsburg or London, but to get from Hazard to Harlan or Middlesboro was tough. And it's going to be hard. They have less resources to do that kind of stuff.
You guys have run into obstacles before trying to get to places. So, your flat tires, animals, this and that. So, stuff has slowed you down.
Of course, you bring up the animals with me. So.
Well, you didn't know that deer was coming out there in front of you.
It was a bear on Route 15 down in Jeff in Perry County. Oh man, yeah. But hey, Eastern Kentucky, everyone step up and chip in. These kids deserve coverage. I have a spreadsheet of all the kids that I used to cover in Eastern Kentucky that are now playing D1 college. The other night I was watching Trinity Rowe playing for Southern Miss. She's a starter now there. And then Cassidy Rowe playing against Northern Kentucky the other night. Kinsley Feltner playing for Belmont. She was from Lawrence County. So, and of course, Trent Noah and Reed Shepard both doing amazing things. So there's still plenty more of those kids that'll go on to do big things. It's up to more than YMT now to cover their story.
Speaking of YMT, we got the pairings for the WYMTV Mountain Basketball Classic. I didn't get an opportunity to go over those 2 weeks ago. But we'll go over them a little bit later here tonight. But we've got a great field of 8 in the boys. Got a good field in the girls of 8. Got some good matchups too. One thing I want to start the show off with before we get going, John Hung. A lot of you know him. He works in Lexington. He wrote a book. I've been promoting that book for him. You can go to Amazon.com. The name of the book is Name, Image, and Murder: The Court of No Return. And we'll talk more about that a little bit. It is now in paperback, so you can also find this in bookstores. So be looking for that book for Mr. John. And I told him I would promote that many, many times here tonight. He sent me an email, and I told him I would take care of him. All right, now joining us is my good friend, Mr. Aaron Rose. Aaron is a very good gentleman. He is a ring announcer, produces a lot of wrestling throughout Kentucky. He also has been working with Prepspin, doing some production for them, and he does just about anything that if you need some help, Aaron is your man. And he also is our main man at AMW Wrestling, and without him, we wouldn't. We'd probably fall to pieces, but he takes good care of us. Aaron, it's great to have you with us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Tickled to death to have you with us. We always bring, this show, I always try to pinpoint, the main sports. A lot of people look at football, basketball, but we don't really look at the production side or what other people do in wrestling, or like what you do for Prep Spin. So talk a little bit about yourself and tell some people what you do, and tell them where you come from and stuff.
Well, I was born and raised in Central Kentucky. I'm a graduate of Woodford County High School. I got involved in sports in general in 2004. 2003. Actually, I worked for the Lexington Legends, just kind of doing a few jobs here and there as like an usher and stuff like that. And then I got to work with the Lexington Men of War hockey team when they were here. And doing that, I got my first taste of public speaking with the Lexington Men of War hockey team. About in front of 3,000-4,000 people in Rupp Arena. That was pretty intimidating, but it was fun. So that kind of sparked my interest in being involved in sports a little bit more public speaking and stuff like that. Thereon, I got an opportunity to do some more announcing for the Kentucky High School Hockey Association. So, the High School Hockey Association in Kentucky was, when I was there, when I was doing games for them, it was based in Lexington. You had 4 or 5 schools in Lexington. You had about 5 or 6 schools in Louisville, and then Owensboro had a team. So there's about 12 teams in the league. I got to do that, and then became the voice later on of the University of Kentucky hockey team. And I was their play-by-play announcer for 10 years, from 2004 to 2014. So, John, I see the Penguins hat there.
Yeah, actually, I like how you mentioned the club team there, because I know they do a lot of like midnight type late night hockey stuff up there in Lexington.
Yeah, sure.
Here in Morgantown, West Virginia, which is where I am now, the WVU team does the same thing. They play a lot of 10:45 puck drop type games.
Well, you get that when you deal with public rinks, but the thing is if your team knows how to market it, I mean, it's a good time. It's going to always bring good crowds. Club hockey is, when you do late night club hockey, there's nothing like it. UK, they packed that Lexington Ice Center for, I mean, I think 800 to 1,000 people they can do. And they pack it out in there. And, a few years ago, they actually had a fire marshal. They had a fire marshal come in, and they're like, you can limit the number of people coming in. We got to make sure we do that now. So that's something that they're having to deal with. But, they definitely need a bigger rink. But love the club hockey, doing that. And in the middle of doing all that, I was able to get my feet wet in radio and start into professional wrestling. One of my buddies, you might know him as Lone Wolf Bobby Blade. He's located here in Central Kentucky too, and he's a great commentator, great manager, and at one time was a great wrestler. And he helped me get involved and get started with pro wrestling. And I did a lot of that behind the scenes stuff for some of these promotions I worked for. Kentucky Championship Wrestling, Mountain Wrestling Association. I did posters. I edited videos. I did play-by-play. I did ring announcing. Heck, even some shows I would run music and ring announce, kind of like what you're doing now, CJ. It's to make something work in wrestling. You definitely have to have a lot of people on board, and and you got to be a person multi-talent too. You got to be able to do a lot. So I did that. I did a lot of that, and for a while, I was deeply involved in wrestling all the way to about 2016, and then I backed off from wrestling for a little bit to focus on my career. Back in 21, I got sick and was put into a medically induced coma. And when I came back out of that and got going with life again, I was like, man, life is too short to, give up on your dreams and kind of just, focus on one particular thing. You just got to keep shooting for the stars. And, that's what got me back into wrestling and, been strongly involved since 2022, New South Wrestling, Elite Wrestling Alliance, AMW, XCF out of Indiana. Did a little bit with the Northern Wrestling Federation, Next Gen Wrestling down in Tennessee, and Generation X Pro Wrestling based in Central Kentucky. I'm doing a lot right now, and I'm loving every minute of it for sure.
We got a big show coming up here in about 3 weeks. A lot of people know about it.
Oh yeah,
been promoting it hard.
2 weeks now.
2 weeks, yep.
Yeah.
Got a lot going on that night. We've got the Hall of Fame, which we're going to put Jimmy Walls, Bobby Blaze, and Stan Lee.
Stan Lee, yep.
Going to be inducted into our Hall of Fame. And then we have probably one of the best War Games matches I think I've seen. Team of Marty Clay's team versus Kyle Baggart's team. And they've been really been putting out there strong. If you don't know, Marty's team is Zodiac, Bruiser Bob, Wayne Moxie, and John Noble. Mm-hmm. They're going to take on the team of Kyle Maggart, Stan Sierra, the tag team champions Eric Porter and Chris Crow, and Adrian Alexander. Mm-hmm. And want to congratulate Adrian last night.
Yeah.
He won a championship at a show he done last night.
I was there on the call for that one, actually. That was the Allied Pro Wrestling Championship against Henry Shaw. And we were live in Richmond, Kentucky at Elite Wrestling Alliance and had a great turnout there. And Adrian definitely had a record night for himself. So congrats to him. And, Henry Shaw that was his second to last match. He's got one more match and he's calling it quits. So congrats to him on a 20-year career.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay behind the scenes and run Allied Pro Wrestling, try to get it more out there and get some other of his younger wrestlers some opportunities and stuff like that. So
absolutely,
wish him nothing but the best. John, you got any questions for Aaron before I ask him a few more?
Well, first off, I'm really happy that you found something that makes you excited to wake up in the morning. I mean, that's huge. A lot of people don't do that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So when you go through your day, I mean, what's the most exciting part of both the wrestling aspect of it and the broadcasting aspect of it?
Well, there's a lot of preparation going into it. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, whether it's producing or if I'm doing commentary or ring announcing. There's prep involved. Yeah. I with AMW, I'm mainly behind the scenes. Every once in a while, I'll hop on the mic, but behind the scenes, I'm getting commercials ready. I'm getting overlays ready. I'm making sure all the equipment's up and going. I'm having meetings with our production team. And then, when it comes to if I'm doing commentary, in wrestling, you got to know your stories. You got to know everything that's going on, and you got to pay attention to things that have happened in the past so you can reference them and tell the story to the fans. Because, fans watching wrestling for the very first time may not know what has happened in the past. So you got to inform them. Hey, this is what's happened. This is what we've seen in the ring before. You got to paint the picture for them. So there's a lot of preparation there. If I'm ring announcing, I'm always talking to the competitors, getting their weights, where froms, monikers, things that would be sufficient for the crowd to know. So, on any given day when it's a show day, I expect to travel a little bit. Like Hazard for me is going to be about a 2-hour drive from Winchester, where I live right now. So I'll get on the road, and when I get there, I'm typically talking to the promoter and saying, "Hey, what do you need from me, boss?" And I figure out what I need and how we're going to map out the night, and we just hit the ground running. And before you know it, it's over. Like, that's how quick these shows go, because there's like this, a little bit of stress before the show starts. But then once the show gets rolling, it goes, and it keeps going and going. So, and just like that, before you know it, we're all said and done. And, it's hard to believe how quick some of those nights go. But, it's I love it. Just love every minute of it. And on top of that, I'm keeping down a full-time job working for a company called Toyota 2 Show, and I work in the raw metals department, and I have a great team there. And having that job allows me to be able to chase my dreams and do the wrestling and stay involved with sports, especially with prep spin as well.
Yeah, something my dad would always say is, your job, what you do to get paid is what you do to pay for your real job.
Right.
Right. My dad's case, he'd always say my job was to be your dad, and in other cases it's something like this. So, but no, this is awesome, and I gotta say, as a talking to someone from Winchester, I have a great affinity for that city, because every single time I would drive through there on the way back from Lexington to Hazard, I would stop at that cookout and get hush puppies, cheer wine every damn time.
That's my late night spot, especially if I have to travel a long ways. Sometimes just to cap the night off, I'll go over there and grab a couple of wraps or something like that, and they're open like 3:00 down here. So yeah,
Mountain Parkway in the dark sucks. So
gosh, yes.
At least have some hush puppies in the car with you. That's
right.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I'm not. You joined Prep Spin just recently. Tell me how that happened and how excited you are to help William. And William's a great man.
Well, actually, I got to know William. We got him involved in some MWA production. This was back in 2011, I think. And I've known him for that long. And I actually really started doing a lot of work for him through 2014 and 2015. And I did a lot through there. And even through 2017, I took a little bit of time off too from that as well. That's when I was focusing on my main job and providing for the family and stuff like that. So I really got back with them. I guess it was in 2021 as well. So I've been back with them for about 3 years. Haven't done a lot of football this season, but it's because my wrestling schedule's been wild. But doing a lot of work with William, his production is top notch. If you're ever at a game that he's at, you're more than likely going to see the trailer that we can produce in. And we have 2 massive computers in there that we work off of. We have a full production rack where we can have, I think, 8 cameras. And he has a whole audio system that you can patch into, and it's amazing the work that man has put into that. And I mean, and a lot of it is trial and error. It's not like he went to school for this degree. It's trial and error, and he's turned it into something magic here. He's made it a point. He's the he does all the Kentucky High School Athletic Association tournaments. I think he just concluded volleyball over the weekend.
Congratulations to Assumption.
Yep.
Who won the girls' state volleyball championship. They beat West Jessamine.
Yeah, West Jessamine made a run.
Yeah. So congratulations to Assumption.
Big win there. Today. Yeah. And then he's got football, the big football tournaments or the state football playoffs coming up, and I'm pretty sure he's heading to. I think he's heading to Florida soon to do some NCAA basketball. So, there's a lot there's a lot there that he does, and to be a small part of that, it's really cool. I pride myself on doing a lot of the baseball and softball tournaments with him in the summer. I make my second home is either at Kentucky Proud Park or John Crop Stadium. So. But
it's just not a bad place to be staying at either.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's a fun time out there, and just to see all these student athletes get out there and bust their butts, and they absolutely put all of their heart on the line, and it's great to see out there.
Yeah, no question. If it wasn't for people like you, Aaron, behind the scenes that does what they do, things would never get accomplished. And I think that needs to be more recognized because, what you do for us at AMW, we'd be lost without you. And I can't wait till you make our video for the war games. I know you're pretty close to probably getting that ready to everybody see and stuff. So I can't wait to see that.
Well, I want to give a big shout out to Adam. He's joined the AMW team recently, and he actually put out a big promo video for our big event on the 23rd. I actually just got done doing a radio commercial for it, and the night of the show, it's going to be magic, and we got a big card ready to go, and we're going to be inside the historic Hazard High School, and it's gonna be a great time, and I encourage everybody, if you've never been to a wrestling show, this is my plea to you. What a first one to check out.
Yep.
Is going to be Hazard High School. It's going to be an absolute battle in there. We got 2 rings, 2 cages. We're going to have, I think, 7 or 8 matches on the card the entire night.
Yep.
And you got a chance to meet a WWE Hall of Famer too. So
the Godfather is going to be in the house.
Godfather will be in the house. Charles Wright, Godfather, you might have known him as Papa Shango back in the day. Yep. He will be there, and again, everybody, if you've never been to a show, this is a fun one to come out to.
And this is our biggest show of the year.
It's our season finale.
Yeah,
this is our season finale this year.
Yeah, we do the season finale. Then we usually take a month or two, let some basketball go through. Then February, March, we start all over again.
Yeah, we're back again for the next season, and that's one thing that I really appreciate about AMW is we have the opportunity to kind of let our batteries recharge, and get ready for those next shows. But of course, behind the scenes, things are still going and going and going. So, but
if somebody would like to have you do something for them, how can they get a hold of you?
You can find me on Facebook under Ring Announcer Aaron Rose. If you're on X or Twitter, you can find me under Prep Spin Aaron. And then I'm on Instagram as Aaron RKY1. And on TikTok it's Aaron RKY, and then of course, I have contact information on all of those pages. So if they need to get a hold of me and want me to come out and do something, I'm glad to get out there and help out wherever I can. And I either production or in front of the camera, I got you.
This is why I wanted to get him on here. Aaron's a great guy. He's just a gentleman, kind to everybody, and everybody likes being around him. And if it weren't for him at AEW, we'd be lost. And I just want to say on behalf of me, and I know the rest of AMW will say the same. Couldn't do it without you, big guy. And it's always glad to have you be part of it. But it's been an honor to have you on the show. If you want to come back and do something else again, I'll be glad to have you.
Absolutely.
Anytime, because you're a good guy, and we like to promote good people.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it. And, again, I love being around people. That's who I am. I'm a people's person. So, if you see me out, don't hesitate to say hey, because I'm around. So
Stop by anytime. Listen, seriously, if you stop by, he'll chat with you. He talks to anybody. He likes to talk to people.
Absolutely.
And, if you see him at an event, stop talk to him. He'll talk to you. Aaron,
Absolutely.
salute you, my friend. You're a
Thank
great
you,
man.
sir.
And I will see you in a couple of weeks as we get ready for the War Games.
See you then. John, pleasure meeting you, sir.
Nice to meet you, too. Thanks for everything you do for athletes in the Commonwealth, man.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. You have a good night.
Good night.
Aaron Rose there for us, guys, promoting stuff and everything. Does a great job.
Let's go!
He scared me.
Let's go!
Calm down.
Let's go.
Calm down. Calm down. I gotta pick on Winston first because
hold on. I typed up a whole introduction only to screw it all up.
It got too excited. The moment got too big, baby. The moment's here. What's
first
up,
of all,
man?
I want to know where you was at when I was at Jenkins for our show.
Yeah, so it's funny.
He was not there.
I dread running into Kyle again because I know he's going to like RKO me when he sees me. But did you see what he did to Ethan? Like, I think he drug Ethan around by the hair.
I think
hair of the head.
Ethan's still feeling pain, okay?
And Ethan ain't got a lot of hair. So I ended up, what did I do that day? I had to do.
You wasn't with me.
I wasn't in Jenkins, but I had a good excuse. I had a family function that night, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it had something to do with one of my daughters. But I had a family function that night, and I honestly thought that there was an outside chance that I would be able to make it back in time. But Kyle talked to me beforehand, and I got so worried that if I walked in, he was going to like call me out from the ring and like drag me in there. So I was like, I don't know if I should show up or not.
Look, we was at Hazard for a show, and he took my chair and threw me on the ground. So yeah, I have to be aware when Kyle's anywhere around the area because I'm probably going to get beat up.
No. John, what's up, man? How
Kyle's
you
a
doing,
good
bro?
guy. Listen. What Kyle does for AMW is people don't understand. It's chaotic. People do not understand how much it takes for everybody to put this show on. It takes a lot of people to put the ring together. It takes a lot of people to do production. It takes a lot of people for the wrestlers to go in there and perform the matches. You got to have officials. It's hard. And when you
I've actually when I was at Letcher and we hosted. I realized how big of a deal it was, and I helped set up that stage. And that stage was crazy. I mean, the ring was crazy. Just that setup alone, I was like, this is crazy manpower. And then their whole production and the entertainment level is off the charts. He does a great job.
Say this, but the people that were at the show in Jenkins, hats off to you. You guys were phenomenal. I mean,
were they good?
Oh God, they were good. Listen,
they
were in Pikeville the following Saturday for the Bluegrass Brawl, and and then we had a lot bigger crowd at Jenkins, and they were loud, they were voiceful, and listen, we had 6 matches. It was a good show, well put on. And I think everybody was. Getting to see Heath Slater was a great honor for some people.
Yeah,
and Heath's going to be with us another time or two. It was just a fun. We love coming to Jenkins, and I think that anytime we get but one thing that AMW is trying to do more is trying to get out to more places we've not been before. We've been to a couple of places like Owsley County. We went there for the first time. We've been a long time since we've been to Boonville. With Jilly Wiley, Prestonsburg, first time we've ever been there in a long time. So we'll start to reach out and go to different places. Again, I want to remind everybody too, if you have a fundraiser and you want AMW to be your fundraiser, you need to call the offices of AMW Wrestling. They can help you and put together opportunity. Maybe we will come to your town in the near future. So looking forward to that.
And if you get a chance when you call, ask for Kyle and ask him to ask his feelings about Matt Jones from Kentucky Sports Radio. Let him tell you. So I just want you to go ahead and get that conversation going.
I think
Let
I'll pass on that one, but we'll let somebody else ask that question.
Let Kyle ask Kyle. Ask Kyle. That would be a fun segment. Ask Kyle.
First of all,
John,
before we get into
can I say hi to John? I've missed him so
to
much.
be here. You won't let me talk to the guy.
I know, right? I've missed you so much, man. And you know, I mean, I'll say this, of course. Who was I with? I was with Austin at WYMT there a few weeks ago. He came over to Jenkins, and we did a little short interview about my time. I went down to North Carolina a few weeks ago and spent some time down there. And so he came up and was asking me about it. And of course we brought you up. And I told him, I got to thinking about it, and I was like, man, I haven't got to connect with John in a bit. But he said you were loving life, and, you know, of course, living it up close to home. So I was like, man, I'm just so happy for him. I probably wish West Virginia's season was going a little bit better than it is, I guess, but
yeah,
I don't know.
They won yesterday.
Did they win yesterday?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Cincinnati. Who cares? That's
I guess
money.
You know, I don't know. I feel your pain as like the whole Stoops. I don't know. I've took up for my boy as long as I could, and I think.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to leave it. You know, now I could be wrong. Hope I am. Been wrong before. There'll be a ghost town in Commonwealth Stadium on Saturday.
Oh, 100%.
You're gonna find. I bet you. I can't listen. There'll be more people at the Louisville women's Kentucky game than they will be at Commonwealth Stadium.
And I'm not so sure there shouldn't be. No, there should be. Our women are good. I mean, there should be more people absolutely at the women's basketball game than there should be at the football game. 100%.
I think they fixed it to where the women's game is now at 5:30 and and the football game's at 1:30. So,
okay.
And if you want to watch it, well, you better have SEC Plus or ESPN Plus, because that's the only way you're going to see Kentucky on TV. So,
watching it on the computer instead of watching it on TV. West Virginia, though. I mean, I'm not going to say anything negative about a certain coach because I now produce his show. But,
yeah.
You better not. You better not be producing the show no more.
I just, it's like West Virginia. It's like the New York Knicks. They're not always bad, but they're not ever good.
Yeah.
Just, they're gonna go to a bowl game. They're gonna play like Louisiana Tech in the Independence Bowl or something. I'm gonna have to pretend to care. And it's just one of those things. We got basketball coming up. So.
Are they bowl eligible? Are they bowl eligible?
They're bowl eligible.
Yeah.
They're 5-4, so they got to.
I thought they needed one more win in their final 3 games.
But they got Baylor, UCF, and Texas Tech. So I'm not. I think they'll beat UCF probably. So
yeah.
And they got them at home. They got 2 of the next 3 at home.
Okay.
So, but it's all good. I'm like, hey, this is an Eastern Kentucky program. We're not going to be talking.
Sure.
We need to talk about. We need to talk about the Cavaliers here. We need to talk about Jenkins.
We are going to talk about
what's going on down in the Star City of Eastern Kentucky.
First of all, I need to find out about our new girls coach there for Jenkins. So, I was not aware that you guys had changed coaches till we were down there for the event. Ethan had told me that you guys had hired a new girls coach, and I'm hoping we will get. If you got connections, I would like to have him on the show. Know how to get a hold of him. Send him my way because I would love to interview him. But I met Paul last year, and he seemed like a nice guy. So then you guys switch coaches. So
okay, yeah, we'll make it happen. It's actually this has actually been like a really fluid situation at school. Is that we do have new staff in place, and I'm actually really excited. And that's all I can really That's really all I can say right now.
Yeah, that's okay.
So
I don't want you to get fired.
Yeah. No, that's all I can say is that I believe we're going in a really cool, good direction. And so as soon as that settles, which will obviously be like very this week, I will get you to have them on the show because I think that would be great. That'd be great.
The first
They'll be
thing
really young. They'll be really young, but
Yeah.
I'm excited about the potential to build from what they'll have. So,
But you're back in the
so it's
14th. This is your second year back in the 14th. You got to be more comfortable now. I also see that JBS is also going to try to play a schedule and even participate in the tournament. That's good to see. I'm tickled to death for JBS. So that gives you guys back to 5 teams in that region. So that's good. I'm tickled to death. I know JBS wanted to play 1 year, no tournament. They wanted to play, but now they feel a little more comfortable, so they decided they wanted to get back in the picture. So that's cool. Your second year in the 14th. This boys region is going to be a lot different because new coach at Letcher. This is Casey's 3rd year. He's still got a pretty decent team, even though he probably lost his 2 top scorers. Cordia is going to be a little bit better with JBS, and you guys are improving so much. You've got this team to double-digit win, close to 20 wins, 15, 20 wins past 3 since you've been there. And Winston, we've talked many times how it was a blessing in disguise that you are Jenkins as head coach. I know at the time when Letcher let you go, that felt a little pain, but God put you in the right position to be in a place where you have changed the entire culture, not just on your basketball team, but with your kids all throughout the school. And I think it has to be heartwarming. Still, I'll be honest, because you really have done a great job. You've done a great job.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and I think about that, and I tell everybody like I could sit here and tell you all the things that it's took and it's taken. That it's just like, oh man, it's been a labor of love, and I mean that as I've exhausted, and it's not hard. I don't want to make it sound like it's been a bunch of miserable labor. It has been love. It's the only thing that I can come up with that's led me and our boys and our staff and just the entire program and community at Jenkins has been like, man, it's been really like it was humbling. That first year we started 0-12, and I was like, what have I done? I was like, what have I got myself into? And I mean, they won 2 games the year before. One of those was by a forfeit. They were up 30 at Phillips, which is an interesting story. I'll have to tell you later. But and then there was another, and then they won 1 more game to beat Riverside Christian. Riverside was still a school at that time, which they're still a school, but they had a team that year. And so we took over this program, man. They ended that year with 6 kids and 2 wins. And so it took, I tell everybody, I love this, man. I came into the first open gym, right? It's late. Like I did get hired for like June, right? So I go in there and I had this open gym. And the first thing that I did, man, and this is so, it would take me forever to list out the steps of what this took. But I made probably 100 phone calls. I'm not joking. I made 100 phone calls to people in the Jenkins community that had sons that had ever dribbled a ball, right? And I was like, look, I'm taking over this program. I need your son to let me talk to him. I need dudes. Like we need some kids, and we're trying to build this back up the right way. So if you have any interest or passion in basketball, please call. And so I host this open gym. I have 4 kids show up. 4. I had 100 phone calls. I have 4 kids show up. One of them, he walks in the gym, and I know him to this day, and I love him. Actually, he's an amazing track runner, He no longer goes to Jenkins. He goes to Shelby Valley. He's got offers crazy in running. And I want to think I've got just a tiny bit to do that. He walks through the door, and he's got on the skin tight, for lack of a better term. He's got on the skin tight wife beater. He's got on the white, pajama shirt. And he's got on skin tight jeans. I can't move in these jeans. And he's got on Vans. Okay? He walks in looking like he got straight from the skate park. The Jenkins ain't even got a skate park. So he walks in from the Jenkins skate park, and I'm like, okay, if you need to go to the locker room and change to your shorts and shoes or whatever, like it's open. I got it open for you. And he's like, nah, coach, I'm fitting the ball, and yeah, I am. This is it. And I was like, man, I've got 4 kids, and here this guy shows up in skinny jeans and Vans to hoop. Like what? Oh my God. And so like we took that. I got him some shorts, I got him some shoes, and he stayed on for a really long time. He stayed on throughout the. We had to teach him, like, man, you can't be like bringing your phone to the bench. Like you can't have snacks on the bench. Like this is how you play. And from that, man, we've just built into something that I probably, of course, and the goal for us this year is to hang a banner. Like we want that pressure now. We go from 0-12 to winning 7 games that year, and then 18 games, 17 games. We want to win 20 games this year, and we want to put it out there that we want to hang a banner because I want the pressure. These boys, we're raising it every day, every week, every minute we're together in the gym. We want the pressure of hanging a banner. If we don't put it out there right now, when the time comes, we won't be able to capture it, I'm afraid. So we're putting it out there right now. And every moment, we're speaking it into reality. And so that for that to even be spoke out is such a huge deal for the Jenkins Cavaliers, man. And my heart has been, it has been a labor of love, and it's been hard. And I've had to do things I didn't want to do. A lot of things I did want to do, I've not been able to do. But man, we're inching there, and it's been a long process. But I thank God every day that God put me right where I needed to be, and that's in Green, baby.
Yeah,
I tell you what. I remember at one point I was driving back from a game. I was driving back from, I think, McGoffin County, and I heard the news that you guys are joining the 14th region. And I texted you, man, like, hey man, I need a quote. And I pull off, CJ, you don't know the story. I pulled off the side of the road in Prestonsburg. I was in the Mountain Arts Center parking lot. I get out my camera. I set my phone up against the back of the trunk, and I'm interviewing Winston. And I'm like, all right, Winston, you excited to be in the 14th? And he's like, I don't know. Are we? It's just,
and the whole
team.
bus, they were up. Yeah, and then a lot of people. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. We were on the bus on the way home from a game, and we had just won. I think we were coming home from maybe like Rocco, Virginia. I don't know where we were coming from. But I'll never forget that. And I just told the boys on the bus, I was like, hey, don't go anywhere. We had just pulled in the parking lot. I'm like, don't go anywhere. We're about to celebrate going back into the 14th. And it's, again, I've told CJ before, it's not like the 15th treated anybody bad. It was just like Jenkins, the 14th is where Jenkins belongs. It's home. It's traditionally where we should be.
You didn't fit in the 15th.
Yeah, it just felt weird, for me personally, but I think it did for people of the Jenkins community too. So, I mean, we're right back where we belong, and I love it because y'all know, the 14th coaching, sort of association is like a brotherhood. And so I felt like for me, it was just coming back home, to all my good friends.
You're cutting out.
All right, see if that's better.
Yeah.
It was like coming home to all my good friends, right? Not that they wouldn't beat me every single opportunity they have to beat me, but coaches like Big Al and John Noble, who is also graced the AMW ring, and I probably give him a hard time. But guys like that I know and I consider my friends and mentors. Like, it's just good to be back.
Yeah.
I'm glad Jenkins has that. Gee, I wonder if there's another school. They should play teams around them.
Have you been waiting on that? Man, the alignment is wild. I mean, this era of college football is wild. And you know what though? I rag it every Saturday and I hate on it every Saturday. But man, it has created the biggest parody ever. I mean, IU is 10-0. Like, it's like created this parody where literally any team of those 12 now, literally any of them. Like, I always favor the SEC, of course, being a good old down south boy, but literally any team can win it. I hope that's true of the 14th region. I hope any team can win it. I'm not so sure that's the case, but I hope that any team can.
I was on football for a second. I went to the Army Air Force football game last weekend. I went up to West Point with my dad, and I was driving us back, and I was like, "What's going on across the country?" Read me some scores, and one of the scores he read off was Arizona versus UCF, and I was just like, "What are we doing? What is that? What is that game?
UCF. Well, I mean, when I saw the graphic of when Miami traveled, who they traveled to out west?
Cal. They played Cal on the road.
Miami traveled to Cal, and they had to send the bus of equipment like 5 days before. Like, they sent the equipment bus on the road, and I'm like, what happens if this dude breaks down? Like, what happens? Like, the logistics are just nuts, and it shouldn't happen. Like, he had to drive this bus for 5 days straight. This poor human office in a plan with him.
I'm trying to imagine like some passerby in like Oklahoma at a truck stop, and they see the Miami football bus.
The Miami equipment bus.
Yeah,
like shoulder pads and helmets falling out the back of it, and they're like, "What?"
That reminds me of that George Jones song. Who's gonna fill your shoes when George Jones's bus pulls up to this little old gas station, and the interstate had took all their traffic. So you've seen that video.
Yeah, like a Route 66 vibe.
The gas station guy goes up there and says, "Hey, is George up there?" And and he comes walking out. And he goes, "Yeah, old timer." And then he goes in and looks at that old timer stuff, and then it's one of the greatest songs and videos of all time. But this reminds me of that bus, and that Miami bus doing the same thing. It's going to California, but it's got to make some stops.
If they put me to driving it, I would have took the scenic route. They really don't put me to drive.
Yeah, there was another one. There was another one this week. Maryland played at Oregon. What is that? What is that?
Wow. Just wild.
Well, Ohio State had to go to Oregon, so that was crazy.
Wow.
At least that game was good.
Yeah.
Good, but,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
But,
crazy.
I know that I know something that you need to send me because I don't have a copy of it. I need the 14th Region All-A tournament bracket. I don't have a copy of it.
Yeah. I actually have a funny story about that as well.
Because I know the tournament, somebody asked me where the tournament's going to be at this year. And I could not give them an answer because I did not know.
Where was that at last year?
Well, the last 2 years, they've divided it up. Like, Leslie County Hazard hosted it 1 year. The next year, Wolf County had it last year. So I'm not sure where it's at this year.
I see. Yeah, the way they do it, the way they do it now is they have a host school, like the home school hosts the first round or two, and then it goes on.
The final four go to
the final four. The last four go to the one location, and honestly, it's left me as to where that is. But last year, in our minds, we're like, hey, depending on this draw, man, we might be able, like, let's advance, a goal for us, let's advance. We're taking the baby steps and we're making this gradual progression. Like, man, can we get let's get this draw and advance. And so what do? We draw hazard at hazard.
That's a fun game.
Okay. So here we are.
Game.
Cavs got all this momentum. I got dudes back. We got dudes lined up. We're going to hang this banner. Go team. Like, all right, time to go draw for the All-A. My good buddy Ethan Cummings, right? Coach Ethan Cummings, who coaches our middle school and helps me at the high school. He's also our assistant AD. So he goes to this draw, and I'm texting him. And I hate doing this. I feel like, God love him, I felt like Robert Hammonds. Like, Robert Hammonds used to give me such a hard time about doing this stuff, like the draws. He's like, yeah, you're not lucky. You ain't drawing. And so I'm like, all right, Ethan, we're counting on you. Go to this draw and literally draw anybody but Hazard. Anybody. I was like, and what are the odds, right? Like, the odds are probably 1% that Ethan goes and draws Hazard again at Hazard. That's probably 0 chance, right? So he goes to the draw, and I'm not hearing from him. And I'm like, okay. So it must have not been a great draw. But literally, I will play anybody but Hazard at Hazard. He calls me. Coach? I'm like, yes. He says, I got good news. I was like, what? He's like, we drew a bye. I'm like, awesome. Let's go. We're going to win a game and make it to the Final Four. Come on. He's like, other news.
We play Hazard.
It's like Hazard and Owsley or something.
Play the winner of Hazard and Owsley.
No, wait. I say, what? He said, well, Hazard also drew a bye. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Who cares? I don't care. He was like, well, so in the second round, we're going to play Hazard at Hazard. I was like, what? I was like, slow down and say that again. He was like, yeah, so we both drew buys. Okay. Potential of that happening, 0%. In the second round, we play Hazard at Hazard. But, like, numerically speaking, I know Mark Pope is a huge statistician guy.
Well, now,
if we don't have that,
you don't have that game. You don't have that game listed on here.
That is so. So listen, man. I don't know if y'all know this, but Arbiter now is the controller over Ryherd scoreboard. Like we have to enter through Arbiter. It's a mess. So if you don't see, you liable to have CJ. You're gonna have a million games that aren't on KHSA scoreboard that happen, and a million games that that
happened in football. Because I was sitting there the other day, a football score. This was like Wednesday day. During the day, I saw it said Prairie Central something, Bell County something. No wait, this game happened Friday night. It's just now being reported.
Yeah,
why is that happening?
It's a mess. So at any rate, I think the date was like, I don't know what the date is, but it's that week in January. But it's like January 8th or 10th or something. But we go play in the second round, Hazard at Hazard. So thank you, Coach Ethan Cummings.
Yes, you done well, Ethan. You did get us a bye. But Ethan, what did you do in the process? You did not help us. I got a couple more questions. I'm gonna let you go because we got Coach Haywood hopefully to come on. We'll talk about his book. We got a lot of big games. Where are you going to be this week? I know there are a lot of games you guys are going to cover that are close. Where are you guys going to be this week?
You talking
Hometown 24?
Yeah, Hometown 24. So I don't know yet. So last week, of course, they covered. I'm saying they. I didn't. When I start basketball, it becomes just impossible.
Yeah, I understand. You got a lot going on.
So yeah. So
you can't do the Doug Gottlieb thing.
Yeah. No. if I got Doug Gottlieb money, I'd do anything, John. But TBS ain't got that money. So
See, I gave you an opportunity to come to YMT. I even threw you a T-shirt, man.
yeah. You got me a T-shirt. I mean, that's a lot. Hometown 24.
I've been promoting YMT forever, and I still ain't got a T-shirt.
My man Josh got me a nice Nike polo. I mean, he hooked me up this year. I got a polo hoodie. So I don't know, CJ. I will have to ask, but when I find out, I will let you know. So they covered.
I would think. Well, the closest game to you guys would either be either Prestonsburg, Betsy Lang, or Martin County, I mean, you don't do. I mean, because
they're probably honestly
Pikeville's at home. They play Paintsville.
Yeah.
Hazard's at Williamsburg. I mean,
I was gonna say if there was one that even has any potential, and some of these schools are being not that it's bad. I mean, I get it, part of it, but they're charging a crazy fee.
Or I'll let you. They beat Taylor County real bad, and their reward this week is a trip to Bull County.
Man, I feel so bad for them. Well, I mean, it's not that I feel bad for them because it's like just the way that it works for this year.
I mean,
but I've never, like, in your wildest dreams, would you ever say that you would rather play Corbin than somebody? Like, I would never in my wildest dreams be like, oh, okay, I'd rather play Corbin at Corbin. But that's true. I would rather play Corbin. I would literally play anybody.
Yeah.
Before I went to Boyle, but it's just the way it is and the nature of the beast, and I'm really happy.
Corbin, Hazard.
Yeah. So I'm really happy. I'm happy for Coach Matthews in the season they've had. Man, they came an ace of beating Belfry at Belfry.
Yeah,
and I couldn't believe it.
But listen, they've had 4 or 5. They've had 2 or 3 games that they could have won. They should have probably won, that they just did not completely finish. Belfry's one of them. Then they played a couple games where they played out of their mind, and then like the thing about Letcher was, and I feel I think they ought to be excited because they're moving to 3A.
Yeah,
they're taking Belfry's place, and Belfry's going to 2.
Yeah.
I think they're in a perfect spot. They're in there in a good district with Estill, Letcher, Rockcastle, Bell. I mean, but it's still, I mean, it's going to be tough, but it's better than playing. I mean, Belfry's not going to be around. They're going to be in that district with, I believe it's going to be McGoffin, McCreary, Estill. I know the other
is better than going.
Anything, you won't see Bull. No, they're 3. But
man,
explain to me. I don't explain it. Why is Bull? And next year, Bull is still in Corbin's region. That mind boggles me to the core how that can still be happening. And if I was going to do anything, I would send Bull to 5A and put Johnson Central in that district with Taylor County in them. I know that's not good destination traveling, but I mean, there's no, listen, a Bull graduates a lot of kids this year. They graduate like 26 seniors. Majority of their good kids do graduate, but they do have a good group behind them, just as good as the group in front of them. But there's no excuse why Bull County's in the same region with Corbin. None. Zero whatsoever. Do not understand that. I wish basketball was like football. I wish basketball would do what football does. Because I don't like class. I mean, I like class football, but I don't think there should be an enrollment thing. There ought to be like, okay, you belong in Class A, you belong in 2A, you're good, you belong in 4A or 5A. Look at Frederick Douglass. They could have stayed in 5A, probably won 3 or 4 straight state championships. But they wanted to get better. And I've known Coach McPeak all my life. He wanted to better his kids. So he went to 6A. And now he's going to stay in 6A next year. It's just crazy. I mean, I just don't understand half these. You need. We either need to do a better.
This is like watching Family Guy. That little bit where Peter would be like, "You know what really grinds my gears."
It all really grinds my gears. Yeah. So if you want, I mean, honestly, if you wanted my take on the whole KHSA football playoff system, I think it's out there. We did a podcast with, of course, my good friend Wesley Smith, and I mean, I can go on for 20 minutes about the RPI system or
RPI should be part to the semifinal.
So I'm not even gonna. I do think it's ridiculous that. But that's more of a geographical thing. So I don't know about
why do we have an RPI in basketball? I'm yet to understand that one.
Who knows?
We don't use it for nothing.
I know we don't use it for anything.
Well,
I don't know.
Use it for
but there are other. If you do, if you do a little bit of legwork, there's a million great. Here you go, baby. I'll be done in a second. There's a million different, great, not flawless. They're all going to be flawless. Whatever the KHSAA will come up with, and I get that argument. Like whatever they come up with would be flawed. But just what we have now is obviously just very flawed. It would be fun to try something different, I believe. And I know they're not after fun. They're after whatever makes sense for the student athlete of high school, Kentucky high school athletics, and I get that. But there are other systems out there in other states that
in West Virginia
are better.
Yeah, in West Virginia, they seed it 4 16-team brackets.
Yep.
And essentially the higher seeded team picks the venue. The lower seeded team picks the time and the place, or excuse me, the day and time. So that way, like if you're going from, the far end of West Virginia to the southern part of West Virginia, if you want to play Saturday at 1, you can do that. That's.
I like that. I like that. I like giving them the opportunity to say, all right, we're traveling all the way to, we're traveling like you were talking about Letcher to McCreary. That's a pretty good haul. Like I would be way more okay with it if they got to choose. Right? They got to choose the time and the date. I think that's pretty cool. That's
in West Virginia, you have Martinsburg, which is out closer to Washington D.C., and then you have Huntington. For a long time, 2 of the biggest programs in the state were at the polar ends of the state. So that way they were able to organize it better so that you're traveling. I mean, heck, if you're going from Martinsburg, you're going through Maryland, going back into West Virginia to get to Huntington.
Wow.
So, that was the best way they figured it. You pick the place, we'll pick the time, and
that's cool.
Yeah.
Now the KHSAA would have a stroke if we tried to do something like that. They would have a stroke. It'd be like, oh, stop! You're we schedule things around here, not you guys. We're in charge, okay?
I will heartily defend. I think.
Hey, Julian, I'm picking on.
Julian,
on the whole.
I know. But it's I do think they have the Kentucky student athlete at heart. I know they do, and they do, and they want to. But just as any other management system or administrative system, they want to be hands-on, but they also want to be hands-off as much as possible. Like anything that they can get that's more black and white, they go that route. Mm-hmm. Like they try to avoid the gray, which is really responsible as administrative, over Kentucky high school sports athletics, because you're dealing with parents, coaches, kids, the whole thing. So they try to keep things as black and white as possible, as they should. But in that, man, there's a lot of context too. It's like the whole Boyle Corbin thing. Like if you showed me that in black and white, like geographically or whatever, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense, sure. But then when you get the context of it,
why is Johnson?
How can that happen?
Why is Johnson Central getting on a charter to go travel 4+ hours to go play Covington Catholic this Friday night?
Yeah. Well, and that would be where the John thing, the West Virginia rule would kick in right there, right? It's like I would be way more cool with doing that on a Saturday, logistically speaking, than doing it for a Friday night. Because then the problem is, I mean, we've got kids on a bus coming home at 1 a.m., 2 a.m.,
Yeah.
got
Flip side of that coin.
Yeah,
Flip side of that coin, though, in Kentucky, though.
You got a lot of teams Friday night that's got to travel 4+ hours to go play their game.
Well, also the thing about Kentucky is that high school sports in Kentucky are so much more monetized and covered and things like that than in West Virginia, where it's mostly trading.
Right.
Gotcha. Who's playing Leonard Skinner?
I don't know.
What's
It's got to be CJ.
My phone is ringing, and Coach Haywood is trying to get a hold of me, but I don't want to. I need to talk to him.
Hop off. I'll talk to Winston. Dang.
There you go.
I've been sitting here like AJ Hawk for 25 minutes. So.
Well, I think that he thought we was going to do a phone message, and I sent him an invitation. So let me send him a message and tell him that we're doing video.
I will say this.
Go ahead and talk to him.
Yeah, I don't want to keep you too long because you got your Jenkins job and then you got your Mayking job, which is
Coach. I sent you an invitation. It's up above the message where it says
everything you did.
Show tonight. Click on that.
CJ.
You're going to see at the bottom of the page. Thank you.
CJ. He's done now. All right, what's that again? Yeah,
everything you did for us at YMT, man. Like me, Courtney, Nate, Austin, Jack, all those guys, Armando. Huge.
Well, I appreciate that. I know there's. I mean, it breaks my heart. I mean, I know there's about to be big changes for WYMT, and honestly, I've not even been able to process it and think about it.
Have you done your round ball preview yet?
I've not. I'm doing it November 14th. I actually talked to Audrey there last week, so I was originally slated to do it last Thursday, but we've got like this. We're going through the changes with the girls program, and I want to make sure that our girls have the ample opportunity to go and know who they want to go and coach talk. So I pushed it off till as late as I could, and the 14th was the last day to kind of get that in. So we hope to go, which I guess is this week. So on Thursday, we'll get in there and hopefully talk a little bit about our team. And
now, Coach Haywood's got there. We're going to get him in here. Do you want to hang around with us, or do you need to do duty?
Yeah, well, I should probably. What time is he coming on?
Right now.
Okay, great. No, that's great. Man. It's always like I wish I had more time, right?
Well, I'll bring you back another episode. You can do more. You can spend some more time with me.
Yeah, just make sure we get John on board.
I'll make sure.
John, when you get on board, and CJ, we'll reconvene. Yeah, we'll
100%, man. 100%.
Listen, before I do go, CJ, let me say that I love my team and I love my guys. And we've put more work into this year than probably as a coach I've ever put in before. And so I want just everyone, I would love to ask for everybody's support of my guys. So if you get the opportunity, and I know Jenkins is far away for a lot of people, we're tucked away in this southeast corner now, but if you get the opportunity, come watch my guys and show them some love and support. And you're going to see, if you follow me on Facebook, you're probably going to get annoyed about how much I blow these guys up this year. So I hope everybody takes that as like, it's not a confidence thing. It's not a pride thing. I just love my guys. And
Listen,
I love them.
You're the tutor of the horn for your guys, so you have to do it.
Yep. Man, it's been great, guys. Thank you.
Stay in touch with me, big guy.
All right, see you, brother.
See you. Get up with me.
All right, we're gonna have Coach Haywood with us in just a second. Winston's. I'll tell you what, they're not gonna be too bad. They're gonna be decent. Now joining us is a really great guy. One of the best coaches in all of the state of Kentucky. Not even just in Kentucky. I think he's one of the best high school football coaches around the planet. Coach Phillip Haywood of the Belfry Pirates. Coach, it's an honor to have you with us again.
Okay, thanks a lot. Glad to be here.
tickled to death. I've been promoting your book every time that I have a show. Both of your books, I know you are very proud of both of them. Real quick, family, faith, family, and football, and then the newest one, climbing the mountain. But I guess the question I'm into now: are we going to have a third book? So let's talk a little bit about that, because I know you've been busy with football. Your Pirates have been looking really good. Proud. You got to be proud of them the way they're playing. We've got a big game this week. It's a really good Rockcastle team coming to your place. So let's start with how the books are going and all that, and we'll get into your team.
Well, the book is doing well. I'm moving quite a few copies, through Amazon, and a lot just on my own that people contact me or pick them up at Food City or Double Quick. Some of the local stores that are carrying those for me, and I really appreciate them doing that. I've developed a course to go along with it that's based on the book, where there's some videos and there's questions that you can kind of work your way through for people that really want to dig into it and get some of the lessons that are in the book. And I'm really excited about that. And that's I don't know if that's quite out yet, but it's on a program. And once the season's over, I'll be able to talk a little bit more about that and how to get in touch with it. But yeah, it's going real good. The third book, I'm not quite ready to get into that. During the season, I don't do a whole lot of that kind of thing, even with book promotions. Other than if I'm on a show and you ask me about it, I'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
But we've had some pretty good reviews about it, not just from coaches and athletes, but from people in other walks of life, just because of some of the life lessons and practical wisdom or advice that's in those books. And so we appreciate that from those people who posted those on Amazon like that.
Well,
I don't know how you could top that climbing the mountain story from 2021. What you would have to start 0-7, I guess, instead of 0-5 and win a title or something in order to top it. So
yeah,
that was an amazing season.
It was
5 and finished regular season 4-6. We were able to win our district games. That was about it. But we kind of started putting it together, and that was I guess one of the key stories within that book. It wasn't the only thing by any means, but it was kind of the finale, you might say, of not only that the book, but maybe my coaching career. I think being able to put all the things together to be able to kind of hold a team together. And it wasn't just me, but our coaches, and getting our kids to buy into the fact that even though we weren't achieving success the way we were used to or early at the beginning of the year, that we could really be good at the end of the year. And getting a bunch of young guys and our coaching staff to believe we just had to keep working one day at a time, keep getting a little bit better, and that some good things really could be in store for us. And, I've often said to people, I don't know if I could have done that my first 15 years of coaching. It took a little time, wisdom, and patience, things that you learn along the way to be able to handle a situation like that.
Well, that was one of the greatest. I mean, it was awesome because you was 5. I told everybody, I said, listen, Belfry will be right there when it's all said and done. And then I looked around, you said in the state finals. And I said, well, they've got a great opportunity to win this. And then it was just remarkable the way you did it. You won. And I mean, it just shows a lot of people, people like you and Dudley Hilton and the ones that are coaches that know what you're doing. You know what it takes to get your team ready to play every Friday night, and what it takes to do. You might have some up and down in your season, but you've been around so long. You guys know what it takes to get your kids ready to play every Friday night, and that's why that I respect you guys, because you know what it takes.
Well, I hope we do. We've done it a long time, but I think the bigger lesson that's in this picture is that everybody is going to go through those 0-5 starts in their life. You're going to have those valleys that you walk through, and you wonder when you're going to come out of those. And if you can just translate that to life lessons that people go have those difficult times, it could be illness, it could be divorce, it could be deaths in family, just losing jobs. But you go through those situations, the dark days, sometimes I call them, that if you just keep putting that one foot in front of another, and if you keep doing the little things right, that over a period of time you can come out of it. And I think that's the story of the book. You know, you just got to keep climbing. And if you can do that, then there's success that waits on the other end. And everybody's success looks a little different than someone else's, but we can all have a measure of it if we just keep climbing, if we just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
No question about it. This has been you've had another great season, great record. You've had your ups and downs this year, but your team has really come on strong the past 6-7 weeks, especially since district play. Got a really big win Friday night. You beat a good Knox Central team who I'm sorry, Knox Central. Knox Central. They were pretty decent. Wayne Mills doing a pretty good job in his first year. Talk about your team a little bit, Coach, because I know going in, you got a Rockcastle County team coming to town that is 10-1. They've had a great year. Coach Larkey, great person like you. Talk about your team a little bit and what you have to do to get prepared for the Rockets on Friday night.
Well, I could talk probably more about Rockcastle than I can our team. All team. I think they really play hard. They've got good kids. They're just tough kids. You say that about a lot of people, but they're typical Rockcastle County team. They're tough. They play hard. They play for 4 quarters, and they just keep coming after you every phase of the game. I just think they do things really well, and their record shows that. You know, they've only lost 1 game, and it was a very close game. So we know we're going to have our hands full. As far as our team goes, we've been a work in progress. We lost a couple of games early in the year that we were right in the game. It was close games. We lost those kind of toward the end of the game. And as the season progressed, we got to the point where we could come from behind, as we were able to do in those games, and actually finish and win those games. We did that against Letcher last week, and we'd done it a time or two before them. So I think we've got kids that believe that we can come back from any situation, which is good. Also playing from ahead, but I think knowing that you can come back from a deficit, 2-touchdown deficit in the 4th quarter, we've done that a couple times, and be able to pull out a win is very important, to the psyche of the football team. And I think we've really improved over the course of the year. We've had some injuries, as most people do, that set us back, and we'd have to regroup and maybe start over again at certain positions. But I'm pleased with our progress. I think we've improved. I think we're more physical, and we're starting to understand how to play our defense, how to run our offense a little better. And there's still little things we have to do better. We know that. But we were better Friday night than we were the week before. And that's always our goal, is to get a little better each day and each week.
Yeah, no question about it. I know your kids probably taking more pride in this playoff run more than anything, because this is your last attempt to play 3A football, because you guys are moving next year to 2A. Right. And if you could go out on a championship note, I know that would be great for your kids. Talk a little bit about that, because I know you have to be. I know you're not thinking about next year. You're not thinking about the movement to 2A, but when you started coaching, 2A football is where you begin your coaching career and on through, and you've been 2 and 3. So, but your kids have to be. They want to make their mark in their final 3A contests and stuff.
Well, I think so, and I think 3A is a great competitive level. And there's some great teams in there. This second round is going to be really tough, I think, in this area, but I think all across the state there's going to be some great games. And we want to play well, and I think our kids want to play well, and I'm sure the other team does too. So it ought to be a pretty good battle.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game Friday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. John, you got any questions for Coach before we let him go? I know he's got a lot of important things he needs to take care of, and I don't want to take too much more of his time because it's an honor to have him on here. And I get tickled when I can have people like him and Dudley around and on the show. It's just super.
Yeah, Coach. When I was at YMT, I was the sports director there during that 2021 season. I remember coming up to Pond Creek after everything was over, and we interviewed you and Isaac Dixon and a few others. And I remember asking you a question about just the sustained excellence that you have at Belfry, and then also other teams across Eastern Kentucky like Johnson Central and Pikeville and schools like that. What does it mean to have that much success in an area that, as we've seen in the last couple of years, that sometimes really needs something to cling to?
Well, I think, first of all, to sustain excellence, to me, is one of the greatest things you can do with a program, a business, or a company, is to have that mark of excellence year in, year out. Yes, you're going to have ups and downs. It might not always be right on the top, but if you can be pretty solid year in, year out, I think that's the mark of what I call championship team. And I always tell our kids this too. You don't have to practice great every day. It's pretty good. You don't have to play great every Friday night. It's just pretty good. And if you can consistently do that, if you can consistently, strive for excellence, play pretty good, work pretty good, then and then improve along with that. Get a little better each day, as I like to say. Then you have a chance, for as you call it, excellence. And it's a mindset as much as anything. Get it to be a part of your culture, the way you think, the way your kids think, the way your community thinks, that this is more of an expectation when you become part of the program, then it's something that you kind of have to build over a period of time. That's what you want. You want to develop that culture where this is what's supposed to be rather than what we're trying to achieve. And I think, again, whether it's in sports or whether it's business or it's educational system, company, whatever it may be, I think that's what we're all striving for is excellence over an extended period of time, because those are the things people, places, sports teams to remember that have been able to sustain a long period of time. And that means an awful lot to me. Even as a young coach, one of the things that I wanted for my teams was I never wanted to just be good every 2 or 3 years and then have to rebuild. I wanted to sustain that excellence. And it took a while to get there, but we've pretty much been able to do that with a little blimp or two along the way.
And I remember when I was in Eastern Kentucky a lot, going, especially in July and August, going to every football practice, trying to get our preview stuff going, Shelby Valley and Johnson Central and some of these other schools. A lot of them would bring you up and say that they molded the way they develop players after how you do it at Belfry. For your point of view, do you enjoy hearing stuff like that, or is it kind of a mix where like, okay, great, now they're doing what I do and they're getting good at it, or something like that?
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's a nice compliment that it says that maybe we're doing some things right. And again, I say we because it's not just me. I'm surrounded by a lot of really good coaches, good people, a great community, great school. So it's not just me, but if we're doing something that other people can model after, I think that's a plus. I think it's a good thing. One of the things you mentioned in your question prior to that was, what does it mean to the area? We're losing jobs, we're losing people, and so forth. And I do think having something that people can kind of hang their hat on, that they can take pride in, and feel like, hey, yes, we still got some really good things going on in our community. I think that's important. I think people really need that in society. They need to say, yes, this is something that is succeeding, and we're a part of it. It's not just that group over there, but it's a team, school. And I've always thought that's very important, to let the community be a part of it, and this breeds areas of life.
Yeah, I remember when the flood hit. Going to Breathitt County 2-3 weeks after it was underwater, and it was just like a regular Friday. It's amazing what it's like down there in Eastern Kentucky. You can't even compare. And to see that at places like Belfry and that other school down the road, we don't need to talk about them, but some others as well. But it really is amazing. And as someone who's not even from Eastern Kentucky, I just want to say thanks for everything you've done for that region.
Well, I appreciate it.
Well, Coach, it's been an absolute honor to have you on here again. Again, guys, if you want to get his books, you can go to Amazon.com. You can go to CoachPhilipHaywood.com, or you can try to maybe get a hold of somebody in his in the school. They might be able to tell you a little bit about it. You got family, faith, family, and football, and climbing the mountain. And he also just told us a little bit ago there'll be some questions and things being added to the other ones, so be looking for those in the days to come. Coach, again, you play Rockcastle County Friday night, 7:30 kickoff, big regional tournament, regional semifinal game, and I just want to say nothing but the best of luck for you and your Pirates, and it's always an honor to have you on here, and I can't wait to have you again.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Coach Phillip Haywood of the Belfry Pirates, as he gets set to play Rockcastle County on Friday night. Now joining us is another friend of mine. Not so much of her, because she don't talk to me as much as she used to. And it hurts my...
That's mean.
Hurts my heart. Olivia, you let me down. How are you doing?
Mean. CJ, what are you doing? You're airing out dirty laundry in here. Well, that's just not nice.
Joining us is Olivia Farmer, the head basketball coach of the Leslie County Lady Eagles. How have you been?
Okay. Good. How are you?
We are good. I miss you. Don't get to talk to you much.
I know you're. I know.
I know you're staying busy. Things going on. You got a lot going on. Let's talk about what's been going on with you. Second season. You had a good first year. I thought you did pretty well with got most of the you did lose some seniors. You got some kids back. I think you got 2 or 3 starters back from last year's team. But you do have a bunch of young kids. You have to just sort of going to develop in, and they're going to be good players. They just need game experience. So talk about your team a little bit, and talk about your. I think also you had to hire a new assistant coach, because you had one that went back to school, and talk about that a little bit. Yeah, we can now.
Okay, I lost you. Yeah, we lost 3 starters, 3 very valuable kids to our program. And last year was their first year of actually having to step up and do a lot of things on the court. So it's just that process all over again. We returned 2 starters to the team, but expecting a lot of other kids to come in and step up. Been really challenging them in game-like situations in practice early on. In summer ball, they stepped up and gave us a big minute. So I think they're up for the challenge. It's just like you said, getting that game experience. I mean, it may not be pretty early on, but last year I feel like we played some of our best basketball at the end of the year. So, I mean, it's not really about how you're playing in December. It's more so about February. So I think we'll get there.
Your second season, what did you learn from year 1 that you can work on a lot more in year 2? I know coaches always say there was things that I didn't do very well in year 1, or things I did do very well in year 1. What do you feel like that you've been able to learn and can do better with your team?
Just really putting them in positions to succeed, finding out a lot about them early on, to putting them in situations in a game where that I know they'll be successful. Last year, I had to kind of throw around a lot of kids in different positions that probably maybe wasn't the best spot for them. So just really figuring out personnel early and just putting them in positions to be successful, and not leaving the ifs, ands, or buts out there for them to have to try and clean up. That should be fixed on my end. So.
You have a good staff. Of course, you have one new staff member with you now because one of your assistant coaches went back to school. Can you tell us who's helping you now?
Right now, for full time, it's just me. Full time, it's just me, just working on my own. I do plan to hire somebody, but right now it's just me in the gym with the girls every day, which it's hard, but it's been very good for me, especially getting time with those younger kids too, to where usually they would have, the JV or freshman coach with them. But honestly, I like it. I enjoy it. It's fine, but I do plan to hire somebody. But right now, every day, day in and day out, it's just me.
Yeah. Well, I know that's difficult because if coaching by yourself, especially high school, you have to worry about everybody. Like you said,
Yeah.
you said JV coach, freshman coach, they can take care of some stuff while you're doing the varsity stuff. The district's a little different now. Misty moved on to Knott County. She's helping them now. Kate, is it Keela? She's now the new head coach of Perry Central.
Yep.
District's a little bit different because I don't feel like that really. This is a district that's probably is up for grabs. I mean, anybody can win it. I mean, Perry Central's still pretty decent. You guys are good. Buckhorn's still going to be pretty good. Hazard, people might be pushing them a little bit up front, but I feel like it's a district that anybody can win.
Yeah, in my opinion, the 54th district's the hardest district in the region. That 2-3 seed game is always, it could be anybody, and really you've got 3 teams that should be in the region tournament most of the time, so it's a very tough district. Last year we got cut short a little early, obviously, but I think we're just as competitive as anybody in the district this year and the region really at that point. But we're just going to really work for, just enjoying the process and not really, we want to be there at the end, but as long as we continue to do the little things right, I think we'll find ourselves there. And I think last year we kind of got caught too much looking at the end goal instead of, the small everyday goals. So I think we're trying to take the everyday goals this year and really keep those in perspective. And I think we'll find ourselves there in the end if we do that.
I'm looking at your schedule right now. You're going to open up in the Jackson County in the PRTC Classic, which is a really good classic. They've been doing that for the past 4 or 5 years. Jackson County team that did graduate a lot, but still got a decent team.
Yeah.
I see your first 2 games. You go to Jackson County, you go to Bell County. That's definitely going to get you ready for the start of this season.
Yeah, so our schedule's a little messed up on KSAA. I don't know. I actually open up at home on the 5th against Harlan County.
Okay.
I don't know why that's not on there, but I'll have to get on there and fix that if it's on my end. But we open up at home against Harlan County on the 5th, and then we do travel to Jackson County on the 7th, and then to Bell County on the 10th. So yeah, we've got a tough opening up, and then we play Hazard the second week, the next Friday. So. But my thing is, play a hard schedule. It prepares you for the end of the the end of the season, the tournament. So that's really, my thought process on that. But we're excited to play somebody. We scrimmage at Betsy Lane on the 23rd, and then we scrimmage Belfry on the 30th. So scrimmaging 2 pretty good 15th region teams. So we're excited to get going and play somebody else in a different jersey.
Yes, I know you are. You've also got the High Citizens Bank Classic right before Christmas. Then you don't have it listed, but I'm guessing you'll be going somewhere pretty nice after Christmas. Then you got
the girls and the boys are both going to Florida this year. We're both going to Destin.
Oh, so, lovely. That'd be nice. Yeah. Then when you come back, the All-A will be beginning about a week or 2 after that. Who will you play in the opening game?
So we got to bye the first round. So Monday night we got to bye, and then Wednesday we play Knott at Knott.
Okay, Knott's back in the All-A this year.
Knott back in the All-A this year. Yeah, I don't know how that happened, how that works, but they're back.
I know Kate. When I was talking to Casey and Megan last year when I interviewed them, they said they would be back in the All-A. If they wasn't, then they was going to play in the 2A tournament. So. They got back in there. Where will you be playing Knott at? Will it be at Knott or at Leslie?
It's at Knott. It'll be January the 8th. It'll be at Knott. Yep, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't have an all-A bracket. I need to get somebody to send me one because
I've got one. I can send it to you.
I would appreciate that, Miss Olivia. You're such a fine person that you are. You'll send me that to me. Yes, I'd appreciate that. I've noticed that your schedule's a little different. You're playing some teams that you've not played before. And these are pretty deep. These are some good teams. You're playing McCreary Central. You're playing Floyd Central. Those are some new teams. You've also, I think, got some other new teams. Betsy Lane, you ain't played. I don't think you played them in a while. So Clay, you kept Clay on the schedule. That's good. You got Harlan, who's Whitley. These are some good teams. I'm impressed with the schedule because this is your first schedule. Because actually, when you got the job, the schedule had already been made for you. Correct? Yeah. So this is your schedule. This is you've done a very fine job putting this schedule together.
Thank you. It's a tough one, but like I said, I like, if I'm not in our practices or we're at a game, I'm watching some type of basketball. So I really like to try and pick teams when I was putting this schedule together, just teams that I knew would give us fits and really show our weaknesses so that we can get better. And I think that's important. I mean, I know I 100% believe that we can go out and win every single one of these games, but I also know, basketball is a game of runs, and I know these games will show us what we need to see. So
this team's a little bit different than some past teams that Westgate's had. You used to depend on senior-oriented teams. If you correct me if I'm wrong, you've only got a couple of seniors, so you're going to depend on a lot of underclassmen on this team. How tough is that going to be early, and where can you lead them where they'll be? Because you've got some good young kids.
We have 2 seniors, and we're expecting pretty big things. Our junior class is really our core. We have 6 juniors, and all of them will get big minutes for us, all 6 of them. And a couple of those, about 3 or 4 of them, they played key roles for us last year. Maybe not significant roles, but pretty key roles. So I feel like they're ready. They're ready for the moment. And a lot of them, Ava Napier, she's stepping into her leadership role tremendously well. Peyton Turner, she's really stepped up in a leadership role. Lexi Wilson, those are all kids that are really stepping up early in practice in the summer that I think will be really big for us. So and then, I've got a couple sophomores minutes. Kira Hale and Kinley Napier, both of those kids will come in. So, I think we'll be pretty deep. Some kids, minutes may be limited. It may just be them playing a role to give a break. But I think I'll be able to play about 10 kids, honestly.
Yeah, I think you can too. What about your younger kids, your freshmen, 8th graders? How excited you're excited about them too?
Yeah, our younger kids, they're working really hard. I'm really impressed with our middle schoolers right now. One that's really sticking out to me is Sam Gay. She's probably the biggest kid in our program as an 8th grader. I'd say she's solid 6 foot, maybe 6'1", just super strong. If she sticks with it the way she is right now, she's going to be one of the best kids to come out of Leslie County. She's tough. She's strong. I didn't get to coach Emma Napier. I know she was really good, but this kid, Sam Gay, is going to be good. She's going to be a name that a lot of people will remember. So I'm excited about our younger kids for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at your roster right now, and your 2 seniors, I know them well, Kaylee Lewis and Kaylee Wooten. Both will contribute and will give you a lot of help. Solid leadership, and then you got a great junior group. Should be. I think you can be right there. The region. I saw some preseason rankings, and a lot of people have Nod, Hazard, and Owsley as the top 3. But I think 2 teams that people better watch out for is you and Letcher. I still think you guys are right there. I think you can play with anybody, and I think they'll get to know that early when the season begins. John, you got any questions for Coach Farmer?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot my voice sounded like that for a second. So the biggest thing I have is last year you went to Leslie County from Shelby County. Did you learn anything about yourself as a coach going back home?
Yeah, just really just taking in each moment, enjoying the little things, not necessarily worrying so much about, um, what we can always fix. That's a big thing, but just enjoying the little moments. There's a lot of small victories that a lot of coaches tend to look over, but I feel like coaching is a very rewarding job, and just being able to come back and do it at my hometown, my alma mater, that's something special, and just really tuning in and enjoying those little things was huge for me. I didn't realize how much I looked over them until I got back home. So just really just the everyday gratitude of the job.
Yeah, I can relate to that because I was at YMT for 2 years, and then I moved back to my hometown, and I'm doing kind of the same thing here. So,
Yeah.
From a promotion standpoint, I know when I was even moving to West Virginia, and you know how Facebook algorithms are, they change based off of who you're around and what you're doing. I still could not go a single day in March or February without seeing a post promoting Iris Napier for player of the year or so, whatever that was. What was it like to did you learn anything from her as a coach, or do you think she got more out of you being her coach?
Yeah. So Iris is actually my second cousin. We're really close. So it was awesome that I got to come home and coach her senior year. And she taught me a lot of things. Iris was a kid that she wasn't afraid to come to me and tell me things, whether it be about herself, whether it be about her teammates, a suggestion, just anything. Me and her had a very strong connection, and I learned that it may not be that way with every kid, but there's some kids that it's really important to have that relationship. So she taught me a lot of just about connecting with the kids, just really finding out a lot about them, the other kids, not just her, but just really how to find their strengths and get those weaknesses out of them, and really just how to get the best out of my players. I feel like Iris really helped me do that. She wasn't afraid to communicate with me. She knew what was best for her team, and she really not only showed me, but showed a lot of her younger teammates, especially her sister, how to be a good leader by example and by the relationship with the coach. So I just appreciate Iris. I got to see her reach a lot of milestones, her 1,000 point, her 500 rebound. So she had a phenomenal season. I wish I could have coached her, all 4 years she had at the high school level, but just a phenomenal kid, and I think that she'll still be a part of our program. I told those 3 seniors last year, whatever we accomplish, you 3 will always be a part of it. So they really set the tone for our program, and I'm excited. They taught the younger kids a lot. So Iris was phenomenal. I'm just grateful I got to coach her a year.
Yeah, always good to have a coach on the floor, especially in the 14th region when anything can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really kind of the last thing I have is just to anyone who might not know going into this season, just fundamentally, what should people expect of the 24-25 Wesley County Lady Eagles?
I watched interview with Kim Caldwell the other day, Tennessee's new girls basketball coach, and she said she made a statement that I had made early on, and it's a statement I'll stand by. I want people to dread playing us. I want people to just, we have to play Leslie County tonight, or I want everybody to dread playing us. I think defensively we have 4 principles we stand by, and that's ball pressure, boxing out, communication, and rotation. And I think our defense is really what sets us apart. Last year we got to play the whole length of the floor a lot defensively, and I think we'll be able to do that this year as well. So I think especially defensively we'll be a dread for a lot of teams, but actually this year too, I think we'll be able to score the ball outside better and score the ball quicker. We learned that last year in a brand new system. The girls done phenomenal with it, but I think that this year we're getting even more into it of our dribble drive motion and just really scoring quick, especially in transition. So just to be quick, be menaces defensively, and to do all the little things to win the game.
You mentioned Kim Caldwell. That's someone who, if you need any inspiration in basketball, 2 years ago she was coaching Glenville State in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia, which is like, CJ, you probably never heard of Glenville State. Imagine if like Union was in Pippa Passes. That's Glenville State. And to now be coaching where Pat Summitt used to coach 2 years later.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
Phenomenal.
You know the thing about Iris you mentioned, and she went through a ordeal with her knee, and people don't know how hard that she worked to try to get back to where she wanted to be before she got hurt. And I want to mention that because Iris, I mean, when we lost her, it took us a while for us to try to find ground. But then I watched Iris come back from her injury, and she just was, she took what she saw when she was hurt and took it to the floor and made your team better.
She did. I told my assistants last year, I was like, if there's one word to describe Iris, it's resilient, because she pushed me to push her more to get back, if that made any sense. Like last year, she wanted to be stronger. She wanted in the weight room extra. She just wanted it for herself, and I think she really proved that last year.
I know how hard she worked to get back. She worked her butt off, and she said, I will be back and I will be better. And she was better. She was good before she got hurt. She even better when she got back. And I think that was a big tell of all three of your seniors last year. They played hard, and they knew what it took to go out there and make this team comfortable. That's what you got to do with this group of kids. A little younger. Like I said, they need the game experience. And once they get game experience, they start playing. It ain't about wins and losses. It's about them getting better, and then the wins and losses will come. I mean, the wins will come.
Yeah.
No questions about it. Well, Olivia, thank you so very much. It's always an honor. You're one of my favorite people. You've always been kind to me and good to me, and I appreciate that. And your Lady Eagles, they're still in my heart right there. Even though I'm not a part of Leslie County as much, but I think about you guys all the time, especially Lady Eagles, and I never forget you. I just wish you nothing but the best of luck. Again, you're going to scrimmage Betsy Lane win
on the 23rd.
And then you got Belfry win.
Belfry on the 30th.
30th. And Betsy Lane is where?
At Betsy Lane.
And Belfry is going to be at?
At Belfry. They're both on the road.
Belfry. So both you're going to Belfry and Betsy Lane. So, and then you open up on December 5th against
Harlan County at home.
Harlan County at home. Yeah. So that's not true.
Write it down, CJ.
That's not true. I already got it done. That ain't your fault on the schedule, though, because Winston had mentioned before that where you're going through Arbiter now. A lot of the scheduling. I know all the coaches have been. I know I've heard all the coaches say they don't like that stuff. So, but anyway, Coach, it's always an honor. Good luck to you and the Lady Eagles, and we will talk to you very soon.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Always, anytime, Olivia.
See ya.
Thank you very much. Olivia Farmer, the Leslie County Lady Eagle basketball coach. She gets ready for her second season as the head coach of the Lady Eagles. We've got about 8 minutes. I want to go over two things from this past Friday, and then I want to go over the schedule for week 12. Well, let me get back over here. Just some scores, and I ain't going to run through them all. I'm just going to run through a few. Brackett County beat Leslie County 51-27. Hazard beat Harlan 52-0. Boyle County beat Perry 57-7. Corbin beat Russell 48-13. Johnson Central 49, Grant County 7. Belfry 49, Knox Central 14. Bell County 46, Powell County 14. Rochester County 54, Estill County 19. It was Pulaski County 35, West Jessamine 0. Prestonsburg 39, East Ridge 8. Somerset beat Owen County 35-6. Pikeville beat Pineville 42-0 on Thursday night. I'm sorry, that was Friday night. There was one Thursday night game, but that was Williamsburg and Lincoln. But Lawrence County beat Clay County 48-7. There were some other games, but we'll go over the schedule real quick. Here are the games for this week. Hazards at Williamsburg. We got Wayne County at Corbin, Johnson Central at Covington Catholic, Lawrence County at Bell County, Rockcastle County at Belfry, Madison Central at Pulaski County, Betsy Lane at Prestonsburg. Look forward to that. It's a rematch from week 4 when it was like 38-31. Prestonsburg eked it out. They were down 2 scores in the fourth quarter in that game against Betsy Lane, and they ended up winning that game back in week 4 or 5. I can't remember. Also, Brackett County plays Somerset. This is a trap game because Brackett County can run the football, and Somerset has been up and down on stopping the run this year. So we'll have to see what this could be a very big test for the Briar Jumpers. They're at home. Brackett County racked up almost 300 some yards rushing that are not against Leslie County. Paintsville's at Pikeville. Breathitt County's at Beechwood. Martin County's at Shelby Valley. That's a rematch from week 5, I believe it was. Letcher Central's at Boyle County. And North Laurel is hosting Southwestern. We will find out tomorrow. Should find out tomorrow what the game of the week is for WYMTV. I'm not positive what it is yet. Haven't heard. Let's see. Let me go back over here. Go give a few notes.
Was there a game of the week last week?
There was Betsy Lane and Knock County.
Huh.
Yes, there was a game of the week. I want to thank everybody that watched the show, left comments. I want to thank everybody who was part of the show. I want to thank Aaron, Winston, Coach Haywood, and Coach Farmer for all being great, phenomenal guests. We had a great, they did super and very good show as well. We'll be back with you next Sunday night, November 17th, for episode number 14 of the CJ Aaron Show. 8 o'clock, I'll be back with you. John North will be with me. And we're gonna have Harlan Kelly, boys coach Kyle Jones with us. We're gonna talk to him about a lot of stuff. Trent Noah, his team coming back. He's excited. We got four starters back from last year's team. Harlan Kelly would love to make a repeat. We'll see how that goes. And we'll get an update also on the kid that got hurt during the summertime. See how his progress is going as well. Also, Armando Berry will be with me next week. Armando did tell me he would be with us next week, and our W1TV segment should continue starting next week. If you've not went anytime and went be a part of the CJ Howard Show page, I want you to go over there. I want you to like it. I want you to share it. Share it as many people as possible. That will help me out tremendously. I also want you to go to my YouTube. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would appreciate that as well. You can follow me on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I do a lot of stuff over there. Come join me. Let's see. Okay. All right. John, give me your final thoughts, and then we will get out of here.
Always good to have Winston Lee on the program. Wish his mic was working a little better, but other than that, I mean, he's a laugh riot. Good to have him on there, and then also to talk to Phillip Haywood. I mean, what he's done for Eastern Kentucky, what he's done for so many young men in the Tug River Valley region of Southern West Virginia and of Pike County, Martin, all that area.
I loved your question to him too, because I thought it was a good question to ask him how the community is rallied around all that. I thought that was great. I like that one.
Yeah, appreciate that. Huh? Journalist. But no, appreciate that. But it's he means so much in Eastern Kentucky at large. Even if you don't root for Belfry, is spoiled to have him coaching this long, and it's incredible. And not to mention the 2 books he has out.
Oh yeah! And if you ain't read them, you need to. Faith, Family, and Football, and Climbing the Mountain. Both are great reads. So you need to.
He's proof that you don't just have to be a football coach to do things. I mean, he's a very smart guy, and he's obviously he writes. So no, he's a fantastic person. And
now another guy, John Hong. We've had him on the show. We're going to have him back here in the weeks to come. He also has got a book out. You can get it on Amazon. And I will try to have that on my Facebook page if you want to go and click on it and get it. It's Name, Image, and Murder The Court of No Return. That's a really good book. Help John out. John's a great guy. He's a UK contributor like Jeff Drummond and stuff. We have them on the show. I'll be having them on the show, I hope, pretty soon here. Get probably the next 2 to 3 weeks. So, but go check his book out. I will be putting a thing in my Facebook page for John, and you guys can click on that and go check his book out if you want to. But do that as well. We didn't get a chance to talk about the YMT. We'll go more detail that next week because I'll give you just a quick matchups and we'll get out here. The girls, it's Prestonsburg against North Laurel, Paintsville against Knox Central, Harlan against Knott Kelly Central, and Perry Central versus Corbin. On the boys, it's Knott Kelly Central versus Harlan, Prestonsburg versus Hazard, Clay County versus Perry Central, and Pineville versus Preston. So those are the matchups for the 38th annual WYMTV Mountain Basketball Classic. John, do not leave me after we get off the air. I got stuff to tell you when we're done out here. Again, don't forget, join me again next Sunday night for episode 14 of the CJ Howard Show. This is CJ Howard, rounding third and heading for home. As Casey Kasem would say, keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars. I love you all. God bless you. Good night. And also remember, tomorrow's Veterans Day. Please remember your veterans. Anything you can do for a veteran tomorrow, please do that. Please. They need all the stuff they can give. So again, please salute our veterans tomorrow. Again, good night, everybody.